With the laws set to change, it's an exciting time for cannabis in Canada. Yet with many unanswered questions, it's a confusing time for consumers and producers. In this series, we wade through the murky waters of legalization, talk to the experts, and weed out any uncertainty about Vancouver's most controversial plant. This is Vannabis 101.
That's what we're dealing with, it's stigma. And you want to be a good woman. You want to be a nice woman. You want to be respectful. You don't want to be a druggie. That's the underpinnings.
It's interesting too, because with mental health, that's one level of stigma. With abortions, that's a whole nother level of stigma. And then with cannabis, there's like that stigma on top of all of it. If you're using it to treat anything that comes from those two things.
It's more so looking at having a feminine touch to the cannabis experience. A lot of times people can look at what they know as the quote-unquote stoner and see a lot of the idea of what I like to call Brad with the bomb kush. That's kind of the idea that people have associated over decades with how the cannabis community and how stoners react.
How about yourselves? How do you guys like to indulge?
I like edibles and bongs and joints and stuff. I just wanted to celebrate.
I'm like an old dirty hippie. I'll just smoke a joint. On a good day, I put a filter in it.
Everybody should smoke weed, I think.
Having a product that can be found in a dispensary, but also something that looks like you could find it at your neighborhood Whole Foods, creates a certain amount of transparency and accessibility to people who might not necessarily be the traditional smoker, but still wants to have the relieving and relaxing properties of cannabis. Being a female plant does have its feminine properties, for sure.
Women's health can be improved by cannabis in a number of different ways. Anxiety, a hormonal person, and you're supposed to stay consistent in the workforce. That's not always doable. Cannabis can play a role there. When you're looking at cutting back on alcohol consumption, reducing sugar in your diet, cannabis can play a role there. When you're dealing with pain from menstrual cramps or insomnia due to hot flashes through menopause, cannabis plays roles there.
It treats so many different ailments that come with that. I don't think cannabis is a woman's only plant at all, and I don't think it has women's specific qualities, but as a woman, you are definitely empowered through use, and it helps you connect to parts of yourself that society has kind of helped push down.
The idea of meeting some guy in an alleyway for my medicine when one of my symptoms is anxiety wasn't exactly an option for me.
We provide subsidized access to nutritionists and herbalists and counselors, give people access to integrated holistic healthcare, and cannabis is one part of the treatments that are offered.
If you want something like medicated lubricant and you don't want to have that conversation with a male, and there is a certain amount of protection and accessibility that allows, especially as a woman, to feel a lot more safe.
As a woman, it has connected me to my femininity. It's connected me to my strength and my power, as it's given me the ability to help educate others. It helped me deal with conversations about sex in a way that talks about treatment. As a young woman, you're told that here's a tampon and here's an Advil and deal with your menstruation.
When you get into the hyper-corporatization of cannabis, that's where you find a more male-dominated environment. When I look at makers and growers, there's a lot of women. When I look at people who are caring for the plant, lots of women. When I look at advocacy for patients, lots of women.
If you've ever sat in a smoke circle with a bunch of women who are all kind of at a very comfortable level of high, it's incredible the dialogue it can open up. When I say, women learn through their communication and their dialogue, cannabis just is a medium for that. It helps make it a little bit more true to what you're trying to say.